My brothers and sisters, may the Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. Jesus was teaching in a synagogue on the Sabbath, and a woman was there who for 18 years had been crippled by a spirit. She was bent over, completely incapable of standing erect. When Jesus saw her, he called to her and said, "Woman, you are set free of your infirmity." And he laid his hands on her, and she at once stood up straight and glorified God. But the leader of the synagogue, indignant that Jesus had cured on the Sabbath, said to the crowd in reply, "There are 6 days when work should be done. Come on those days to be cured, not on the Sabbath day." The Lord said to him in reply, "Hypocrites, does not each one of you on the Sabbath untie his ox or his ass from the manger and lead it out for watering? This daughter of Abraham, whom Satan has bound for 18 years now, ought she not to have been set free on the Sabbath day from this bondage?" When he said this, all his adversaries were humiliated, and the whole crowd rejoiced at all the splendid deeds done by him. The Gospel of the Lord. We see over and over again in the Gospels a tension between those who should be able to see and those who cannot. And more often than not, the ones who seem to be blind by the standards of the world are the very ones that have the vision to understand what's happening. And those who should know better are the ones who don't have the vision at all. We have another example of that today in this little story from Luke's account, where Jesus in the synagogue encounters a poor woman who for 18 years has been suffering. And so he heals her. And rather than recognizing this for what it is, a great gift, the leader of the synagogue is only focused on the fact that something happened on the Sabbath, which according to the law should not happen. So he tells the people, "Come another day, don't come on the day of the Sabbath to be healed." And of course, Jesus listens to this all and says, "What a fool you are that you think such a way." And unfortunately, over and over again, that seems to be an example that we see in the gospel stories, that those who should, by reason of their position and place and prominence within the Jewish community, should have been the first ones to understand and recognize what was happening and the grace of salvation. And yet they're the very ones who are blinded right through to the end. Sometimes we get so focused as well on little things, the peripheral things, that we tend to lose sight of the greater vision, of the greater good. And so we're reminded ourselves this morning as well to keep things always in context. Don't get into the little things and make that part and parcel of your life. Allow rather for the fact that God, sometimes in his great compassion and sometimes out of a sense of surprise, works in places and attitudes in our life where we least expect to find him.